Hi my friends, welcome to my channel. I'm Allie Wilkins. If this is your first time watching this channel, I'm so excited that you're here and you're coming at a really fun time. And if you're back again, thank you so much for coming back to watch. I hope you enjoy. So today we're going to talk about something really exciting and really important for the world. So we're going to talk about feminine energy through a masculine lens. This is basically what we've learned about feminine energy. So basics 101 for 30 seconds. We all have masculine and feminine energy. There are wounded forms of masculine and feminine energy and healed and divine versions of masculine and feminine energy. We all carry a bit of both. The idea of our growth on an ascension level is that we are transforming the wounded parts of our masculine and feminine energy, bringing them back into balance, and then operating from divinity. So most of what we've experienced on both ends have been the wounded forms of this, and that's because we've been living in the Kali Yuga for the last 2,000 or 2,500 years, which is basically the age of darkness, and we've been living in the darkest times. We've been in the age of Pisces, and we're just now shifting into the age of Aquarius. So what does that mean though? So basically that means we've been living through a really dark time in history where we've forgotten our divinity. And I actually have a really epic masterclass that's free on my website. If you go to alliewilkins.com/free gifts, you'll see it. It's called, I might change the name of this, but it's called the Divinely Funded Masterclass. And I talk about the astrological ages of time, and you can see how we've gone from golden age to, and this is a cycle of life. You go from a golden age and down into the darkest ages. This is where we are now. And then we move back up. So right now we're starting to move back up the circle and eventually into the next golden age, but that's not going to be for a while. Anyways, so you can go to that link. I'll put it in the comments or something here if you want to check that out. It's really interesting. Anyways, so we've been living in these really dark times, forgotten who we are, forgotten our divinity, and we have very few examples of what healed, divine masculine and feminine energies even look like. Like, all of us still have wounding to heal in these areas. And I want to really, okay, so that's basic 101 in 3 minutes, not 30 seconds. So I want to focus today's video on how we've been looking at feminine energy through a masculine lens and how that's never going to show us the full spectrum, because how could masculine energy understand feminine? They're complete opposites. Masculine energy is the Shiva, the container. Feminine energy is Shakti, the creation. So you could think of this as like a cup of water. The cup is the masculine energy creating the structure, the boundaries, for the water, which is flowing, moving all over the place, fluid, right? That's the feminine energy. Or you could think about the banks of a river being masculine energy and the water flowing within the boundary, within the safe structure, as the water being the feminine energy. So they're operating from completely different points of being. And like I said, we all have both. So what we've learned about feminine energy is essentially that feminine energy looks one of three ways, maybe. The seductress, sexy, enchanting, seductive. 2, we have the mother, nurturing, compassionate, that sort of energy. And then we have like the wife energy, the like the devoted wife sort of energy, domestic goddess, that sort of vibe. Those are the ways that we've learned about femininity and what it looks like from a masculine perspective. However, this is leaving out like 90% of the archetypes of the feminine energy. And it's interesting because these are conveniently the ones that would be damaging or harmful to our power structures today, particularly like the patriarchy. So those are the archetypes of the feminine that are convenient to toxic masculine energy, and that's why we've learned about them. You may differ in opinion about that, but just think about what it is that I'm bringing here. The only versions of feminine energy that we see are one of those three. If you look up a hashtag on Instagram that says divine feminine, you're pretty much just going to see a bunch of sexy women. And it's important for us to own that part of ourselves. I'm not saying that these aspects are wrong. I'm saying that they're a very small portion of what feminine energy actually is. The portions that we haven't learned about are portions that are scary, that are wild, that are untamed, unbridled. You cannot control them. So if women were all operating with those archetypes intact, I mean, and men, because we all have these archetypes, but particularly this is going to show up a lot stronger in women because we tend to have more feminine energy. So if we were all operating with these versions of feminine intact, the world would be completely different. And also we would never be able to be controlled, manipulated, suppressed, because we'd be in our full power. And of course you can say that about anything. If we're all in our full power, we'd be in a different world. But I'm really gearing my work into this specific area because I feel that this is a huge area that we can grow in and experience deep change, expansion, and growth within ourselves. So, what are some of the other aspects of the feminine? There are many different archetypes of the feminine. You can see throughout different cultures and lineages, there are similar archetypes of the goddess energy, which God is masculine energy, goddess is the feminine face of God. So they're both. We've also grown up in this day and age where we've pretty much only had a masculine godhead. The divine is masculine, according to the patriarchy. There is no goddess. Like if you would have gone to a church 300 years ago, a Christian church, and been talking about the goddess, like that would be like blasphemy, right? But in ancient times, really the goddess was what was worshipped. And there's also a bringing together of both, which is truly, I feel, what we need. Because both of those energies, when they're coming from divinity, offer so much and they support each other. So it's the Shiva Shakti acting in unison together, balancing each other out. So, and another way that you could think about this is like, if it's just Shiva, if it's just God in a healed version, not in the God that's portrayed in our society, it's just space. There's no creation. It's just space. It's just empty, vast consciousness. If it's just Shakti, it's creation that's like there's no containment for the creation. And if you've ever created anything, or if you're an artist, you know that sometimes you need, always, we need structure to support us. We need structure to support us. So you need both. And we need both of those energies. So what are some of the feminine archetypes? There's so many. Where do I start? There's like Kali, goddess of death. Most of us avoid this, but you can't avoid Kali. But most of us are denying this energy. Most of us, so Kali, I wish I had a picture of her over here or something. I'm just checking that I don't. Kali is typically portrayed as the blue-faced woman. She's standing on the man, holding his skull in her hand. And I think it's Shiva actually that she's standing on, but I might be wrong about that. And anyway, she's wearing a necklace of skulls. She has her tongue stuck out. She's a goddess of death, also liberation though. And there's so much we don't understand about these archetypes. And there's so much fear in going into them. So when we deny that part of our self that is a cyclical routine part of self, we are really diminishing our power and making life a lot harder. So one thing I want to go back to really quick, there's so much I want to talk about with this, you guys. That's kind of why I'm bouncing around, because there's so much to go into. Just like, 10, 20,000 years of history that we've been lied to about. But anyways, feminine energy operates in cycles. We haven't been taught about any of these cycles. So the Kali is one representation of the death cycle. This is one. We haven't learned about these because masculine energy operates in a linear format. It's like, oh, if I do this, then this will happen. Okay. So we've all been trying to, and you can probably resonate with this, we've been trying to lead our lives purely from that frequency of, if I do this, then that will happen. Okay, that feels safe because I can predict this outcome based on what I do. Feminine energy doesn't operate that way. It operates in cycles. And all of life really operates in spirals. Nothing is truly linear. But that's the first thing to understand, that feminine energy operates in cycles. And what are these cycles? There are so many of them. So I'm actually going to be leading a masterclass. It's free. If you're watching this like around the time that I'm posting it, it's going to be on June 12th. It's a Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern. This is free. Please come. It's going to be so valuable. I pack so much information into this that you're like, this is a broad claim, but it's like your whole worldview will be really different after this masterclass. So you're going to learn so much in this class, but specifically you're going to learn about the 3 cycles of the feminine that are the foundations, that are the root cycles that every single human on earth goes through, and that we will not be operating anywhere close to our power if we don't value and recognize and work with these cycles. Because most people right now, one, don't know about them, but also, even if you're a little familiar, it's like, these are scary. These aren't like masculine energy. These aren't what I'm used to. So I'm just going to pretend they don't exist and keep doing my thing and ignore them. It's the worst thing that we can do, truly. Like, we have to learn to work with them. So that the masterclass is going to teach you about that. But there's also going to be a lot about ancient feminine wisdom and like how feminine lineage has been affected throughout time. So there's going to be a lot of stuff packed in there. And then also I'm leading a mastermind that starts July 1st. Oh wait, so also if you're watching this masterclass later, there will be a replay. So I'll put the link down in the comments so you can also just get the replay later if you want to watch it. But what I was going to say is I'm also doing a 6-month mastermind starting July 1st, 2022. And every month we're going to be working with one of the deeper cycles of the feminine. And so this is going to allow you to really start to see yourself as the goddess, to really start to own that part of yourself and attune yourself to the feminine cycle itself. This is an initiation into the goddess, and there's going to be a group of us working together. There's so much included with this. I'm really, really excited to offer it because it's going to be extremely powerful, and you're going to get full access to me in a way that isn't like appropriate for other sorts of containers that I have. But in this, you're going to get full access to me. So I'll put the link for that in the comments as well. What else? So yeah, what I really wanted to just share in this video quickly is that the feminine operates in cycles. We have to learn about these cycles. We have to bring them into our life, accept them, work with them, nurture them, because that's how we come back into our power. We can't hold our full power if we're trying to pretend to be feminine in a masculine world. If we're trying to work with the masculinized version of femininity, because that just looks like, oh, I'm only sexy, I'm only a domestic goddess, or I'm only a mother, and those are the 3 choices. No. And you've also experienced lots of aspects of the different archetypes, but it's unconscious because this is primarily who we are. But most of the time, and this is not to make this video about this, but it's the truth, the church repressed so much of our primal selves that we're like, oh, this part of me is bad. Oh, I can't show this part of myself to anybody. It has to be private and has to be kept secret. And whenever we repress or suppress anything, it's going to come out in ways that are not helpful to others, right? So you've experienced the other archetypes of the feminine. The issue is that you're not, one, seeing it as divine, seeing it as holy in itself, and you don't probably know, or we don't as a whole know how to work with these energies in a safe, healthy, mature way to really get the juice out of them, to really work with them in a way that can expand us, grow us, and allow us to become our full selves unapologetically. So the world we live in really doesn't want that. It really doesn't approve of that. It's judgmental of that. But the world we live in is also super toxic, right? So anyways, I hope that this video at least like sparked something for you today. Please put in the comments what your takeaways were, what you enjoyed about it. And like I said, if you're interested in more about this, there's going to be like I think we'll probably be going probably 90 minutes to 2 hours in this masterclass. I'll try to keep it to 90 minutes, but I kind of always go over. So we're going to be going so deeply into this in the masterclass. It's called Attuning to the Cycles of the Feminine. And then, like I said, if you're interested in going deeper with me and a small group of women, join the mastermind. You have to apply for it, but you can join the mastermind. We're going to be going deep into the initiation of the goddess. I've had many of them, so I feel really comfortable leading them. And it's going to be, the energy of the container itself is extremely potent. So like, I'm not in charge of it. The goddess is in charge of it, and I'm just the one who created the container for it. So if you're interested in that, you can always message me on Instagram and ask more about it. At the link, you can book a quick call with me if you want to make sure that it's a fit. But this is something that I don't offer very often, and it's a really powerful opportunity. So anyways, I'm so excited about all of that stuff. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like it, comment, share it so that more people can find it and learn more about the feminine cycles of energy. So anyways, I hope you have a beautiful day, and I will see you guys later. Bye.